Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from York Racecourse here on Thursday. It is the 12th of May 2022. It's Dante Day from York, and I'm going to look at the Dante and all the other races on the program. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Make sure you join me on Saturday for my lock-in preview in the UK from Newbury, and also here stateside here in New York at Belmont. We have the Manowar, great Grade 1 race on the turf featuring Yabir. So I hope you join me for that preview. And then Sunday we have the French 2000, 1000 guineas from Patty Longchamp. So it's going to be a good weekend of racing. So join me here on YouTube for that racing. It's Dante Day, and it's probably one of your most important Derby prep races. So we'll look at that and all the other races. We're not going to look at the 445, the sixth race. Very tough 2-year-old race. And like if you watch my videos the last few weeks, last few years, I always say this: I don't look at the 2-year-old races in the UK or in Europe in general. Basically, before Royal Ascot, maybe that Sandown fixture in June, but other than that, I just don't really, these races for 2-year-olds are very, weird at this time of year. As a fan, I'll watch them, just won't bet on them. So we'll look at the other ones. So let's get to the 150, the first race now from York, which is the Paddy Power making flat less flat handicap. It's Class 2 handicap going for a purse $40,500. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. Horses rated 86 to 105. 13 horses a baker's dozen going 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on the turf course. Gonna take here the 8-horse Digital as a top selection. Let's go 865 in the TriCash trifecta. 865 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 8-horse Digital. This 4-year-old gelding by Cody Bear. Kevin Stott's on this one for Kevin Ryan. The horse's most recent outing came 17th of April at Newbury. 5 furlongs on a Class 2 handicap on good ground, and he finished third by 1 1/4 lengths that day. He was with them early on. He had a decent turn of foot. The winner Blue de Vega just had the jump on him, but this horse ran his heart out. Coming here back to York today, where this horse had a decent race in the fall or late summer last year, I think the horse could really run a good race and find the winner's enclosure. Two back, the horse did find the winner's enclosure at Southwell. 5 furlongs on the 22nd of February in a Class 2 handicap, won by length that day, and basically stalked that day. It took him time to get going, but when the horse got going, he got the job done. Winning by length. It was a very good victory there. And then before the 27th of January at Southwell, 6 furlongs in a Class 2 handicap. The horse finished third by a half length. Was run very, very wide that day. Was wide throughout. A little bit of turn of foot from a tracking position, but it wasn't anything spectacular. Definitely needed the run there. And then go back to a race on the 21st of August last year during the Ebor meeting. 5 furlongs in a Class 2 apprentice handicap. The horse finished second by a neck that day. And Safi Osborne, who rode the horse that day, rode a terrific race. His horse tracked, had a great turn of foot. The winner just had the jump on him, but nothing bad about that race. Has definitely been on the improve. Gets good inside post draw. I think the horse could get a good trip here today, so we're going to take him. The 6-horse Joal, I think, is your second likeliest winner. Ran a good race here during the Ebor meeting last summer, and some of the races in the fall was just seeing a little bit too quick ground. Likes a slight give, so the ground's going to be good today, which should be to his liking. Gets a good inside post draw, gets a good tracking position. It wouldn't surprise me if he wins. We'll definitely use him on the ticket. But to recount my selection for the 150, the first race from York, let's take the 8-horse Digital. Give kudos to the 6-horse Joal. 865 TriCash trifecta. 86 in your place pot. The second race, the 225, it's the Group 2 Middleton Stakes. It's a Group 2 event for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $189,000. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards, fillies mares only. 4-year-olds and upwards, fillies mares only. 6 horses are going 2,000 meters or 1.25 on the turf course. I'm going to take here the number 4-horse Noon Star as a top selection. Let's go 426 in the TriCash trifecta. 426 TriCash trifecta. Top selection of 4-horse Noon Star. 4-year-old filly by Galileo. Judd Monone, Sir Michael Stout trains. Ryan Moore gets on this one. The horse's most recent outing came at Nottingham and Nottinghamshire Oaks. 1.25 on the 26th of April. First off, the 10-month refreshing. The horse won by a head and was all out that day from a tracking position. He quickened up. He got there in nick of time. Probably wasn't 100% cranked, but he got the W. It was a very, very good race after all said and done. Coming here, second off the bench, back to York, where this horse ran a very good race last year. I'm going to give this horse another shot here today. They took the horse to a 2-long trip at Royal Ascot last summer. 17th of June, 1.5 miles on fast ground in the Group 2 Westow Stakes. The horse finished 6 by 4 lengths that day. He was with them early on from wide post draw, but then just completely crumbled. Wasn't staying that final 2 furlongs. Just not 1.5 miles. I think 1.25 miles quarter is where this horse really wants to run. Before that, on the 12th of May last year here at York on yielding ground, a mile and a quarter in the Group 3 Musadora. The horse finished second by 2 3/4 lengths behind Snowfall, and this horse, stalked that day. Snowfall had the jump on her, but this horse, placed well behind a decent filly, and then a Weatherby in a Class 5 fillies novice race last year over the mile and a quarter, winning by 2 1/4 lengths. First off, the long freshening from a tracking position. This horse ran quite nicely. Coming here today, even with a slightly wide post draw, second off the bench with that tough race last time out, I think this horse is loaded. Don't throw out the 2-horse forbearance either. Shane Foley's on this one for Jessica Harrington. Most recently ran the Group 3 Princess Royal Stakes at Newmarket over the mile and a half last September, where the horse won by 2.5 lengths. Really put on a show. Before that, they ran him in the Group 3 Paddy Power Stakes at Leopardstown, where the horse just really couldn't get there late. Cutting back to a mile and a quarter. Coming here today, back from Ireland, I'm going to give this horse a shot. To recount my selection for this 225, the second race from York, it's the Group 2 Middleton Stakes. Let's take the 4-horse Noon Star. Give kudos to the 2-horse Forbearance. 426 Tricast Trifecta. 4-2 in your place pot. The third race at 3 o'clock, it's the Paddy Power Hambleton Handicap. It's a Class 2 handicap going for a purse $67,500. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 15 horses going 1,600 meters or a mile on the turf course. In a 15-horse field, I'm giving you a TriCast. I know it's crazy, but as a top selection, I'm going to take the 6-horse Hordarza as a top selection. We'll go 6-8-2 in the TriCast trifecta. Play in exact combinations, please. Just don't play the TriCast, because I know it's crazy giving out one in a 15-horse field. But 6-8-2 TriCast trifecta. Top selection, 6-horse Hordarza. Separated Gun by Sepoy. Daniel Thedip on this one for David O'Meara. The horse's most recent outing came on the 23rd of April at Ripon. 1 mile good ground Class 3 handicap, and the horse won by 1 1/4 lengths that day. And he didn't break that well that day. It was very, very bumper cars at the beginning, but he settled well after that from tracking position. He slowly moves his way up. He got the lead, and he got the job done after all said and done. I would like to see him break well today. That's sometimes which he doesn't do, but coming here, hopefully breaking well in this large handicap field. If he does that, I think he can improve and get another victory here today. 2 back on the 14th of April, Newmarket during a Craven meeting. 1 mile in a Class 2 handicap. He finished 4th by a length that day. Again, didn't break that well. Was way out of it early on. He moved a little bit late, but again, it wasn't anything spectacular. He has to break, like I said, and then a red car before that. 1 mile Class 3 handicap, finished second by a nose. He broke okay that day. He was on the drive, just not excelling late. Maybe he needed the race on the abandoned grounds, and then at Doncaster before that 1 mile Class 2 handicap. First off the bench, he needed the race definitely. He didn't break again that day and lost all chances. He was just behind the A-ball. If he breaks, he could definitely run a good race. He's run 3 times here at York. He hasn't hit the board yet, but on all those races, those are very, very tough races. You have to go all the way back to early 2021, 2020 to see his York races. But coming here today, like I said, if he breaks, that's the key. He's going to win. 7-1 will use him. If he doesn't break, I think your second likeliest winner is the 8-horse here, La Trinidad. Tar Marquand's on this one for Roger Fell. Horse has been seen since the 8th of October. That came here at York over the mile and on soft ground Class 2 handicap, where he finished 4th by 4 1/4 lengths that day. He just kind of stalked all the way down the race course. A little bit of a turn of foot, but maybe, the soft ground got to him. Before that 24th of September here at York, 7 furlongs in Class 3, he finished 6th by 2 3/4 lengths there, and he didn't break that well, and that cost him that day because he was just behind the A-ball going the 7, which is not his preferred trip. He likes going a mile, which you're going to see today. He won here twice last year, once on the 10th of July over the mile trip with a very good post draw, and then once over the mile on the 8th in Class 4 in June, where he was all out, drifting, hitting the wall late, but he got the job done after all said and done. Coming here, I'm going to give him a shot also, 12-1 if Hordarza doesn't break today. But to recap my selection for 3 o'clock, the third race from York, let's take the 6-horse Hordarza, give kudos to the 8-horse La Trinidad, 6-8-2 TriCast Trifecta, 6-8 in your place pot. The featured 4th race to 3:35 from York. It's the Group 2 Dante Stakes. It's a Group 2 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $236,500. Race for 3-year-olds here. 9 of them are going 2,000 meters or a mile and a quarter on the turf course. Now the Dante is kind of, for an American, for us Americans watching right now, the Dante to the English Derby is basically the Florida Derby to the Kentucky Derby. It's one of those great prep races that you always see the horses run out of this race and always run good in the Derby. So it's, Florida Derby, Dante, kind of similar in characteristics because the horses really bounce out of this race well towards the end of the year. With that being said, I'm going to go with the 6 horse here, Magistrella as a top selection. I'm going to go 673 in the Tricast Trifecta. 673 Tricast Trifecta, top selection of 6 horse, Magistero. Can't speak, pardon me. It's been a very, very long day. But the Stereo Colt by Frankel. Frankie Dettori is on this one, and Jonathan Gazin trains. The horse's most recent outing came 23rd of April at Leicester. Mile quarter in Class 5 novice race. First start as a 2-year-old. First start over the mile 2 furlongs. It was a success, winning by 1.5 lengths that day. He stalked. He was on the drive, but excelling that day. Even with a high weight of 135 pounds, he just kept going. A very good run. Going to the mile and a half shouldn't be a mile quarter again. Shouldn't be a problem. Very good poster. Should handle a slight give in the ground. I'm going to give him a shot here today. 2 back ran the 15th of October at Haydock on soft ground. 1 mile Class 4 novice race, and he won by 1.5 lengths that day. And, he was a little, anxious going to the post that day. He wore the hood, but he broke okay. He stalked. He slowly moved his way up and got the job done late. Not the flashiest maiden victories, but he got the job done. And then at Newmarket on 23rd of September on good ground. 1 mile Class 4 maiden race. He finished 4th by 2 lengths that day. He never showed forwardly pace going out of the gate that day. He moved a little bit late, but after all said and done, it was just a little bit too late. He definitely knew the race for experience, but with every single run, he's getting better and better. Back to a mile quarter again today, facing stakes quality horses. Shouldn't be a problem. The team, Gazin and Dettori have won this race many times. I think they're sitting on a good one with this one, so we'll take him. As an upsetter, the 7 horse Mascella, I think, is your second like this winner. Jason Watson's on this one for Andrew Balding. Most recently, they ran the horse at Newmarket over the mile and 8th in the Fielden Stakes, where the horse finished second by 2 3/4 lengths there, and he just kind of stalked. He couldn't get the winner Edon, who just had the jump on him, but this horse ran decently off the bench. An extra furlong shouldn't be bad for this horse. I think he's bred for it, and I think he can really run a good race. He ran quite a few times, 6 times as a 2-year-old last year, but he always ran these good races. The only subpar races were on very soft ground. He shouldn't see that today with the extra longer trip. I think he could get a good race here today also at 10-1. I definitely use in your place pot. But to recap my selection for the 335, the 4th race from York, it's Group 2 Dante Stakes. Let's take the 6 horse Mastorella. Give kudos to the 7 horse your Magisterial as the 6 horse top selection. Give kudos to 7 horse Mascarella. God, can't speak, pardon me. 673 Tricast Trifecta, 6-7 in your place pot. So that's enough, screwing up the names of these horses. Let's get to the 5th race, the 410, which is the Westow Stakes. It's a listed stakes for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $88,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. 8 hopefuls are going the distance of ground of 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on the turf course. I'm going to take here as a top selection the number 3 horse, King of Bavaria. Let's go 3-2-5 in the Tricast Trifecta. 3-2-5 Tricast Trifecta. Top selection of 3 horse, King of Bavaria. 3-year-old colt by No Nay Never. Ryan Moore's on this one for Aidan O'Brien and the Coolmore Group. Horse's most recent outing came at Navan on the 23rd of April, and the Committed Stakes. 6 furlongs there. He finished 4th by 4 1/4 lengths there, and he sat back early. Basically doesn't break so clearly, but sat back early. He slowly moved his way up, but it was a little bit too late. Coming here going 5 with a quicker pace, hopefully breaking today. I think the horse could really run a better race than he did in Ireland. Maybe need the race off the bench. 2 back at Naas on Halloween, heavy ground, 6 furlongs and a handicap. The horse won by 1.5 lengths. Again, sat back early, slowly moved his way up. He got the victory. He had to be used a lot, but it was, it was a good race there. And then before that, his first career outing on the 8th of May at Naas, yielding around 5 furlongs in a main race. He won by 3/4 length. He completely, didn't break that day, but slowly afterwards, he went straight to the front end. He quickened off the front end, and he just kept going. A very good race after all said and done. After a horrible beginning, I would like him to run a race similar to that maiden victory, but I would like to see him break, not like he did and where he completely missed a break. But if he sits closer in this race, I think that should suit him well. 5-2 will use him. You also have to use the 2 horse here, Coonan. Paul Hannigan's on this one for Richard Fahey. The horse's most recent outing came at Newbury. 6 furlongs in a Group 2 Mill Reef Stakes, where the horse finished 8th by 9 1/4 lengths there, and he really just couldn't get anything going from the back of the pack. Another horse that sits a little bit, when he sits closer, he really runs these good races. There's only one once, that was a main race early last season. but was running in some very tough group races last year, like ran a sixth in the Norfolk Stakes, came back to run a very good place in the Richmond Stakes, came back to run a very horrible 10th in the Pre-Mornay at Deauville, where the horse just wasn't handling it there on the yielding ground. But when this horse sees good ground, which he's going to see today, he really runs these better races. At 7-2 to the 3-0 campaign, I'll give this horse a shot also. But to recap my selection for the 410, the 5th race from York, it's the Westow Stakes. Let's take the 3-horse King of Bavaria, give kudos to the 2-horse Cunan. 3-2-5, Tri-Cash Trifecta, 3-2 in your place pot. Now the 6th race, 445, like I said, very tough 2-year-old race. You know my deal. I don't like looking at these races until Royal Ascot. So we'll skip the 6th race and head over to the nightcap, the 7th race, the 520, which is for the stayers. It's the Fido Money Handicap, Class 3 handicap, going for a purse $27,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. Horses rated 71 to 90. 8 stayers are going 3,200 meters or 2 miles on the turf course. As a top selection here, we're going to go take the 2-horse Master Milliner as a top selection. We'll go 2-3-4 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 2-3-4 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection 2-horse Mr. Milliner. This 6-year-old gelding by Helmet here. Sean Levy's on this one for MLFL. The horse's most recent outing came 17th of April at Newbury. 2 miles and a 16th in a Class 2 handicap, and the horse finished 5th by 9 3/4 lengths that day. You know, he was with them early on, had a lead for a split portion, but then the closers got to him. Off the bench, the horse desperately needed the race. Come back to York with this horse, likes to win one of his last 2 for 2 locally. I think this horse could run a lot better second off the bench, even with a high weight of 138 pounds. 2 back, the horse ran 24th September here at York, 2 miles in a Class 4 handicap, and the horse won by 7 lengths that day. And he sat back early. He slowly moved his way up. When he got the lead, he kept going. An all-around easy run for this horse there. And then at York on the 5th of September, on 2 miles on firm ground, Class 4 handicap, the horse won by 2 lengths. Drawn a little bit wide throughout, but the horse got the job done late. A very easy run after all said and done. He likes to stay, over the distance. He's 3 for 2. The only subpar race was the last time out where he just couldn't stay, first off the bench. But second off the bench, he should stay the trip well, even with the high weight. We'll take him here. The 3-horse Frank Stella is your second likely winner for Jason Hart. John Quinn trains this one. This horse likes running here also. 2 for 1 on this course. 1 back here in September 2020 over the 2 miles very, very easily. Only started a handful of times early last season. After that, after May, he basically has been on the sidelines making his first start in nearly a year today. But he ran a Carlisle most recently, 28th of May, over the 2 miles in a furlong on a Class 4 handicap, where the horse finished second by 6 1/4 lengths there, and he just couldn't catch the winner, who had just had the jump on him. A few days prior at Haydock on heavy ground, 2 miles in a Class 2 handicap, he won by length, was very wide throughout, had to be used a lot, but he got the job done. Coming back to York with this horse, has run very well in the past. Placed in this race last year. I'm going to give this horse a shot here at 6-1 also. But to recap my selection for the 520, the 7th race from York, it's the Fido Money Handicap. Let's take the 2-horse Mr. Milliner as a top selection, or Master Milliner as a top selection. Give kudos to the 3-horse Frank Stella. 2-3-4 Tri-Cash Trifecta, 2-3 in your place pot. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKit5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Good luck, everybody.